Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast, and pro wrestling, of course, that we bring you each and every week. I have to say, it's great to be back. This has felt like the longest international break ever. Marky, how are we?
I'm all good, cuz. Good to be back. Like you said, I thank God it was the last international break before the end of the season because, yeah, it was depressing, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, as much as I really enjoyed, like, I'm enjoying the way the FA Cup is panning out with the different teams and stuff like
Yeah,
that and
yeah.
all. But a weekend of FA Cup where you have, like, the 8 matches or whatever it is. Good Lord, you're the 4 matches.
Well,
Good Lord.
even not weekend, last weekend, the weekend before, I ended up watching the Liverpool and Chelsea Legends game just for something to watch. It was actually quite good. Crouchy
Good
popping
game.
up, yeah,
Good
Crouchy
game.
popping up with 2 goals and everything.
Two crackers as well.
Yeah,
Gerrard was unbelievable still.
yeah, his passing,
Unbelievable.
oh,
And
second to none.
one Gregory Vignal as well.
Yeah,
One on
yeah.
the show as well. Had a
Come
real good
here.
game.
What happened with Dennis Wise and thing at the end?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't look into it
Yeah,
that much. Didn't look into it. Don't know.
um,
I think there was a bit of
Jay
niggle during the
Spearing.
game, wasn't there?
Yeah, him and Jay
Yes, no.
Spearing were going at it.
Spearing took him out a few times during the game. Like,
Sorry, yeah, that's what it
yeah,
was. So at the
yeah,
end,
yeah. Jay Spearing would have a kind of an old chip on the shoulder there. He'd fancy himself as a kind of a Dennis Wise, but
oh yeah, sure. I
Dennis
remember
Wise,
seeing him play for
that
Blackpool and all.
Dennis Wise is not the guy to be picking for that kind of thing either. Like, so
That's it.
yeah. Well, listen, kick us off. Let us know the score, which been a few weeks.
Yeah, so I've been busy out. Lots of communions of birthday parties coming up this month as well. Communions confirmations next month, and obviously we have the Leeds Legends game coming up on the 10th of May. We have the Airfield game. Actually, they've announced a few more players. So the Airfield game on Saturday, the 21st of June, out in Airfield is going to be a cracker game. It's the Premier League 11 Legend 11 against Airfield. So in goals, David James. We have Stephen Kerr, Wes Brown, Yap Stam, and Ian Hart at the back, which have already been announced. In midfield, though, they've announced the three midfielders. Karl Boborski, Stilian Petrov, and Jason McAteer are the three of the four midfielders. So there's a few more players still to be announced, but that's going to be a cracking day. Obviously, we'll get Browner back on the show, but really looking forward to that. Going to have the trophies out there. At the Leeds Legends game on Saturday, the 10th of May, we're going to be introducing a brand new trophy to the family. So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So, yeah, all good. We've the United Legends game against Rock Celtic in Dundalk on Saturday, the 12th of July, which I'm really looking forward to.
Is there a Dundalk game that weekend as well?
I was talking to Mr. Temple there
Mm.
on Friday. It was Friday.
Mm.
He was in with me and was chatting away. He was obviously heading down for they were playing Wexford at home on Friday evening. So I'm not too sure. I must check it out and see if they are playing at home. But I was chatting away to him. He's in great form. He was saying it was one of the lads' 21st and stuff like that last week, and they were celebrating. And he was going to try to do something for Mother's Day for the moms. He said he bought a load of chocolate to give out to the moms and all the women at the match on Friday and stuff like that. So yeah, no, fair play to
He's
him.
a commercial monster, isn't he, John Temple?
I
He's a
tell you,
commercial monster. He has it
he
down. Doesn't miss a thing.
yeah,
Doesn't miss a
no,
thing.
he was in great form the other day when I was chatting away to him, and obviously he was slagging about Trent and different stuff, and we were just chatting away and all. So yeah, no, I must find out early, but yeah, no, Rock Celtic, the Manchester United legends are hitting Dundalk on Saturday, the
Yeah.
12th of July. There's 7 players already been announced there, another 3 to come. So yeah, it
Be
should be
cool
really
if
good.
Dundalk were playing on the Friday night or something. We could go up on the Friday and stay.
It'd
Go
be
to the
class.
Dundalk game and then hit the Legends on the Saturday. That'd be
It'd
a
be
great weekend for
class.
us.
Because I tell you another thing about that weekend, and I was only saying it to Browner. Yvonne said to me, it's actually the weekend of my 40th. Yvonne asked, do you want to have a party? Do you want to go for drinks? And I says, no, I'll be in Dundalk that weekend with Manchester United, so I don't want anything planned. So yeah, that'd be
So we
my little
will
thing.
have a 40th, but it just
Yeah,
won't be that 40th.
exactly. So
Absolutely.
it should be a bit of crack. So yeah, busy few months coming up. A wedding in July, thrown in that and stuff like that, and a party
Yeah.
at the end of the month in April and stuff. Yeah, so loads coming up.
Awesome. So make sure, folks, you're liking, subscribing, sharing, following, all that good kind of stuff. And the channel, as always, as well, growing all the time. Let's get into the chat for a second before we start. Haaland broken ankle out for the rest of the season.
I've seen that.
Seen him on the
He's
crutch,
gonna
all
be
right.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good, not good. What's the crack, lads? I'm watching Raw and listening to your podcast. Good way to end the Monday.
How are you,
Absolutely.
Keith? Hope
Doesn't
you're
get
keeping
any
well,
better.
buddy.
Doesn't get any better. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow night, Pro Wrestling Weekly. It's up there on the channel. We'll be going through Raw, we'll be going through SmackDown, WrestleMania, we'll be going through loads of cool stuff.
Am I right in saying they're inducting matches into the Hall of Fame this year? Bret Hart and Austin's
Bret and Austin
match.
is the first one going in. We will be talking about that tomorrow night. I'm not sure whether it should have been the first match to ever get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it going in. It's definitely worthy of a Hall of Fame match. But should it have been the first?
Do you know what? I switched on YouTube the other day in the telly here, and obviously links come up of different videos. And the gimmick match from WrestleMania, I can't remember what it was on it. Bobby Heenan was commentating and all, and Sergeant Slaughter was there, all the lads. It was great, man. Great to see them all there.
Yeah, you should check out WWE. They have a channel called The Vault now. And they put up all the old stuff on it and stuff like that now. But you have Netflix, do you?
Yeah, I have Netflix. Yeah,
it's all on Netflix now. It's all on Netflix. Raw, SmackDown, the whole lot. And the last 2 weeks it's been on at this time because they're touring Europe.
Okay.
So Raw's on live right now from the O2 as we speak. Yeah.
Nice one.
Philip saying, big up Philip, hi lads, long time no see.
Feel?
Yeah, we always take a bit of a sabbatical during the international breaks to just clear our minds from football.
It's good to be back, Phil. It's good to be back.
We have missed it. Real Madrid wants Rafael for 90 million. If they're paying 90 million for him, Marky would drive him to Madrid. So,
well, apparently, Amran has told the Ineos that he's a big vital part of his plans going forward. So I can't see it happening.
90 mil, that was 90 mil, isn't it? Not Acers, he's not even worth 9 mil. Never rated him. Not even worth 9.
Keith, have you not seen him over the last while? Yes, that was it. Acers, I was watching it. Yeah, it was great, man. All the old, and it must have been. It's funny towards the end. I don't know if you noticed it. They must have been telling him to go down the aisle quicker, but for time, like, do you know what I mean? Doink and all coming out, and I think I can't remember. It was the dumpster came down at the end of the aisle, and then music started. That was great.
Save the wrestling, lads, for tomorrow night. We're not on the wrestling tonight. I appreciate the comments. We're going to talk FA Cup first. Marky, give us your thoughts. FA Cup. What was your thoughts, first of all, on the Forest penalty that was given and then not given?
I to be honest with you, the angle that showed when the Brighton player slid in, it looked like his arm made contact, his trailing arm. But it was so hard to tell from that angle. Like I wasn't too sure. Obviously, they had a look at it, and the old Brighton fans waving the £10 notes in the referee's face and stuff at the screen and stuff.
Hence our thumbnail.
Exactly. So, but no, it was so difficult to say. I didn't think there was enough contact. Listen, from the angle of the referee, he's seen it. And it looked like there was contact, but there was minimal contact from that trailing arm. So I think they did come to the right conclusion at the end, you know. But it was a great game, end to end. I have to say, Sales in goal for Forest, unbelievable all season. Some of the saves he pulled off there, particularly from the header in I think it was the second half of extra time, and then to save the penalties. I felt bad for that young lad who stepped up for Brighton and missed, you know, the teenager. It takes a lot of courage to go up and do that, particularly when you're not in the team a long time and stuff. So, but listen, from Forest's point of view, it's been a fairy tale season. You know, they went from 17 last year, they're in third position now, and semi-final of the FA Cup. It's fantastic to see, you know, and it's really thoroughly deserved as well if you look at the form throughout this season.
Yeah, I think both teams have been very good, in fairness, and I wouldn't have had a card in either hand of it, really. You know what I mean? So I was happy for both teams, actually.
Listen, I know it might have been a law, but there was a good few chances created and stuff like that. But like I said, Sales was he has been all season unbelievable form. Even that penalty that was driven straight down, that's a difficult save because, you know, you he was about to dive one way, so his weight and his balance is taken off, and the power of the shot, I thought it was a fantastic save. So and yeah, I'm delighted. Philip, one of my close friends, Philip is a massive. Not Philip in the chat, don't worry, Philip. Is a massive Notts Forest fan, and I was texting him the other day. I was delighted for him. So, yeah, it'd be great to see them get to the final, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Wade Barrett was at the Preston game, and actually Kevin Owens as well was at the he was at the Leighton Orient game, I think. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, they were just picking random games to go to, so it's pretty cool.
They're all over the place.
Down, yeah, absolutely. Fulham coming up short against Crystal Palace at home. I was kind of disappointed in this. I expected a bit more from Fulham. I have to say, I have to give the flowers to Darren on Thursday. He basically called the 4 away wins. And mad to think out of the 4 games, there was only 1 home goal out of the 4.
Yeah.
But this kind of ran out not really a contest. Sure, it didn't. Crystal Palace nearly did it by half time, really, you know?
Yeah, and it was strange when I didn't see Jimenez in the starting 11. Obviously, he'd been on international, international duty in South America and stuff like that. But I was kind of a bit, taken back when I didn't see him there. But fair play to Palace. They were fantastic. Eze's goal cutting in the inside. You just knew the minute he cut inside, he was going to have a smash it on target, and he did. And that, like you say, after that, it could have been any score there. Anytime they went forward, it looked like they were going to score. Their second goal was a well-worked goal as well. Fulham are, they've been decent this season. They have struggled to score a good bit in games and stuff, and I was expecting a bit more out of them, particularly, quarter-final at home in Craven Cottage. Yes, their crowd have gotten a bit of stick in the past because, they're from posh out Fulham Road and stuff like that, but I thought to myself, quarter-finals, the FA Cup, they'll be well up for it. They played well against us, obviously. In the previous rounds, we weren't great, but fair play to Palace. Listen, Palace obviously got to the final in 2016 against us. Pardew in charge just missed out. We ended up winning. But it's fantastic to see, the rise since Glasner's taken over has been nothing short of a miracle,
Yeah, and it started off quite bumpy for him, didn't it? Well, actually, it started off well. It finished last season well, and then this season started off tough, and then he kind of found it. But he was missing a few players. Mateo was out and stuff like that. Now he's found his group.
And Elise going to Bayern and stuff like that would have, he was the
and
big name
was out as well.
Eze was out injured for a while and stuff. And you even look at Wharton. Wharton looked off a bit off the pace. Wasn't up to his normal magnificent self in the middle. So I know he was coming back from a slight little strain and stuff like that, and but yeah, great win for Palace. Like, absolutely, you've seen the scenes in the away end. It looked brilliant.
Yeah, Bournemouth, man. Well, Aston Villa obviously 3-0. Marcus Rashford playing a big part in the scoring, I think, and assisting. We don't really need to get into that. Pressing or down. Congrats to them as well on reaching this level. This stage and stuff like that.
No, it is. And you felt, even though, listen, Emery rang in the changes, you felt that any team that Villa put out there would be pressing. That's no disrespect to pressing. The form has been fairly indifferent in the league over the last few weeks and stuff like that.
As I said, the home form hasn't been good.
It's been okay. Like, it hasn't been great. They're kind of, it's been a bit kind of mediocre. But listen,
I think he was saying 7 wins out of 17 at home or something like that, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and they've drawn a lot away from home as well, so they've been kind of just a bit average this season. But great to go on the cup run. The penalty to give. What was your man thinking? Like, standing on him after the ball had been played. Like, it was a bit of a joke of a decision from the player himself. But yeah, it would have been nice to see a few of the Irish lads obviously get to the semi-final playing for Preston. But listen, Villa, give them the credit they deserve. It was a great win in the end. Nil all at half time looked a bit dodgy, but you just had a feeling they'd win.
Bournemouth won, Man City 2. Man City getting the job done, but I have to say they made hard work of it. Bournemouth could have had a few in this first half, and obviously there was a penalty save from Haaland as well. They missed a couple of opportunities as well, but I think Bournemouth in the first half felt like they were running the show. I thought Semenyo was unbelievable.
It was,
and I think the problem for Bournemouth in the last 20 minutes of this game is felt like Semenyo had run out of gas. And at that stage, then when he was receiving the ball, he was starting to give it away and loose passes. And stuff and all, but he was excellent throughout the game.
And I think when City brought on the young lad O'Reilly as well, Nico
Yeah.
O'Reilly, I thought he changed the game for City. He done it in the previous round as well when he came on. He looks a baller. Yeah, the Haaland penalty save really, from a Bournemouth point of view, be very nervous. But when he saved the penalty, it gives you that extra boost, that confidence, and you
Yeah.
could see in the way they were played. I thought they were very unlucky. Grealish had a few opportunities to shoot, and you were just going
Passes.
right. Yeah,
Edge of the box.
yeah, it happened two or three
Aston
times.
Villa,
Yeah.
Grealish, bread and butter stuff.
Oh, I was
Aston
looking
Villa's
on.
Grealish, bread and
I was
butter.
looking.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
he has to shoot now. He has to, and then he lays it off. You're like, Jesus Christ, man.
And this has to be instruction. This
Oh,
can't be
yeah.
decision making. Because
No.
if it was Pep, if this was decision making on the pitch, whatever bit of hair Pep ever had would be tearing it out.
God, yeah,
Because you would want him, a guy like that with his talent,
Oh,
should be pulling the trigger on the edge of the box.
absolutely. But yeah, listen, again, fair play to Bournemouth. They're having a fantastic season to get this far in the competition and to do as well as they are in the league. They've been excellent. And it's been an effort from the whole squad, not just, you could say, starting 11. The whole squad's been excellent for them this season. Obviously, their manager should be up there with manager of the season with a few of the other lads as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting semi-final.
Absolutely. How do you feel about this idea of semi-finals being played at Wembley? Is it just a money grab, or do you think it should happen?
Every year, because I have this conversation here, I'm not a fan of it. I think when you're looking at that, Forest and City traditionally would have been probably played at Villa Park, obviously, Palace and Villa in Old Trafford. That's the way I prefer it. It makes it more prestigious getting to Wembley in the end.
Wembley should be just the final.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having the semi-finals there kind of takes that bit of glam away from it. Yeah, it does. It does. And listen, it's the FA Cup's been diluted enough. Like, we've often spoken on this program about the whole Saturday, the weekend. It's just that there's no other games the weekend. The Saturday starts off at the Players' Hotel for breakfast. The helicopter going over to the bus all the way to Wembley, the build up for the even going down to the teams releasing songs. I know they won't do it now, but you remember in the 90s we had Come On You Reds and a few other songs and stuff like that. Seeing the lads walk out in their suits on the pitch to check out, holding the programs to check the pitch out and stuff like that. That's what it should be about. Obviously, it's changed over the year. Sponsorship, the Premier League becoming the monster it has. It's kind of exactly, that's the thing. It's kind of taken away from it. But,
it just for me the other day, it felt weird when these teams, and no disrespect to any of these teams, because I'd love to be going to Wembley, but it kind of felt weird where they're posting off the Wembley we go, and you're going, it's a semi-final.
Exactly.
It doesn't ring right.
Yeah,
it doesn't ring right. It's
exactly.
weird.
No, we should. Like I said, Villa Park and Old Trafford, or even if you thought Villa Park was too small now for a semi-final, you could pick somewhere like St. James's Park or somewhere like that.
Spurs.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So,
it takes it a bit away from that. Like, the amount of semi-finals I watched for Manchester United in Villa Park and the memories it holds and all, and then you get to Wembley and it was such a big thing. Like, I remember on my communion we played Chelsea and I was wearing my red blazer with Man United tie and all. We bet them 4-0, obviously Cantona with the 2 penalties and stuff, and the 96 final against ourselves wasn't a great final, but the build up was fantastic. No, but I remember you told me before you lost a few quid on it and stuff like that.
The suit's still in the wardrobe.
That's it.
But you're gonna break it out for the show.
Do you remember like Bob Wilson and all in the studio and Alan Hansen and stuff like that? It used to be brilliant. Like, it's a whole day,
Pick a winner.
I've
a thought on this now, so pick a winner.
Do you know what? Like, I love to see Forest beat City and get to the final and go and win it, but I have a sneaky feeling Villa might go on and do it.
I'm thinking Palace.
Hey.
And the only reason I'm thinking Palace is because the other three are embroiled in a top 5 race. Villa are still in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason. So I'm thinking Palace have a run at this. They don't really have to worry too much about their league position. They're okay. And I think they can fully focus on doing what they need to do. I think the others have a lot of distractions going on.
That's good.
We brought it up on the show on Thursday as well. And the question is, at this stage, what's the priority? Is your priority? Obviously, you always want to win silverware and stuff like that, but is your priority that or cementing that top 5?
Yeah.
Top 5
100%. And for Pep as well, like, a lot of pressure. This is only opportunity now to actually win a trophy and stuff like that, So, but Yeah, listen, Forest Palace Villa, I'd like to see someone different win it than Manchester City, that sort of way. So,
Mm.
yeah, but I just pipping Villa just by a
Villa.
tad. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we've
by a
kind of been
smidge.
on the Villa bandwagon. Before we get into the Premier League, a couple of things to ask you. This unbelievable parade there for Newcastle there the other
Yeah,
day and
yeah.
stuff like that. A lot of people giving out crap saying parade for a Carabao Cup. These
Listen,
people just don't get it. Sure, they don't. They
no,
don't
listen.
get it.
They hadn't won a trophy in 70 years, and I
Yeah,
was watching an interview with a fan, and he said the amount of fans that have lived and passed away without seeing Newcastle win
nearly
a trophy.
400, nearly 400,000 on the streets in
It
Newcastle for
was
the parade.
unbelievable since we were watching a bit of it here with the girls because Ant and Deck were there and they
It's
love Ant and
quality.
Deck, and it was great to see, and the celebrations, and Bruno with the mic and stuff like that,
Mm,
and Dan Burns getting in. Listen, I thought it was brilliant.
yeah.
People might think it's only a Carabao Cup. It's a trophy. They haven't won one in 70 years. Yeah, leave them to it. It's great to see. It's what football's about. I don't think
Listen,
anyone
there's
anyone
only
can.
potentially 4 trophies every year.
Exactly.
So,
I don't
you
think
know,
anyone can slag anyone like that's one like we both know, and this is not in a blasé way. We've won trophies. We mightn't go on like that if we won a Carabao trophy. I was delighted when I won the Carabao Cup last year against Newcastle in Wembley. Like, I was delighted, but fair play to them. I was just this. I was being up to St James's before. Like, they are so passionate. I know people talk about it. They're a great fan base. I was delighted to see it. Even Shearer looked pissed and all. It was great to see. And
I'd say the amount of babies created on Saturday night
yeah,
in
yeah,
Newcastle was
yeah,
insane.
yeah,
And the only
100%.
and if they're males, the only two options are either Eddie or Dan.
That's it exactly. Too
Or
right.
Alexander, I suppose. Alexander as
Alexander,
well.
do you hear him
Yeah,
doing his Newcastle accent and stuff? I thought it was
yeah,
brilliant. It was
absolutely.
a
No,
great thing to watch on over the weekend, particularly again, obviously with the FA Cup games and stuff like that. But in between them, there wasn't much to watch either. So
I just think if you're one of those guys online that's having a pity party about the Carabao Cup and them having a parade about it and all, you really need to find
sad,
a
they're
different sport or something to do
sad
with your
people,
time because it's bad.
sad people, cousin.
And the other thing, yeah, I wanted to get we get Philip's comment in here first on Newcastle. Newcastle's having an open top bus parade after winning his trophy from 6-9. People are idiots about it. Was exactly Philip. Exactly. You should
Definitely,
celebrate every trophy you win.
100%.
I wanted to get your thoughts on this, obviously, not so much about the quotes, obviously, but the dynamic about it is obviously Kuna has indicated to Wolves that he wants to leave and
Yeah,
in a way where he wants to step up and win, compete for trophies and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine.
yeah,
On the other side, we have Trent, who's been silent, who's potentially heading off to Real Madrid by the looks of things. But Trent's going on a free.
yeah,
Probably could have signed a contract and gave us a few bob exiting the building.
yeah.
Cunha had just re-signed a new contract, I think about 4 months ago. So obviously they'll get a nice few quid for him. He's obviously a very valuable player and stuff like that and all.
That's why I think Wolves done it as well, cause
Yeah, and probably him as well. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have to sign a new contract.
no,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
But like that's why they knew big clubs, but bigger clubs, no disrespect to Wolves, were sniffing around. So sign him onto a new deal, and then you get more in the transfer fee. And it gives your manager more money to play with them when he's bringing in players and stuff.
Yeah.
He's been doing well with Brazil, obviously in international duty. Obviously
Linked
the
with Arsenal.
team linked with Arsenal and a few other teams as well.
Teams,
He listen, I think what was it 62.5, I think I read earlier, was it release clause or something like that?
yeah.
Um, played with Atletico Madrid and stuff. He's been fantastic for Wolves. And I don't think as a Wolves fan you can say, right, they're not going to hold on to him. So listen, take whatever you can get. He's served you well, and see where you go from there. On the other hand, I haven't spoken to you personally, obviously, about the whole Trent situation. We were saying a few.
That's why I wanted to get your thoughts, because I'd like to get as many thoughts as I can from outside the Liverpool pill, because obviously we've seen the
Yeah,
reaction to that, and you've got a reaction kind of within the Liverpool fan base,
yeah,
and then you've got a reaction within the local Liverpool fan base, the
yeah,
actual
yeah, of course.
Scousers and Liverpool people themselves and stuff like that
Yeah,
have felt they've been a bit let down by the boy and all
yeah,
that kind
no,
of stuff.
too right.
And I say to people on this, whatever way you react to this, if you're the kind of person that burns jerseys, if you're the kind of person that, calls him a rat, if you're the kind of person that wishes him well, whatever way you deal with this boy's exit, it's a personal thing, and it's,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
who is it for anyone to tell you what way you should or shouldn't? You know what I mean? I wouldn't personally be burning jerseys doing all that kind of stuff, but I'd never let football get me to that point. That's for sure. What's your thoughts on this and how it's gone down? From an outsider's point of view. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously from a United point of view, you're probably delighted the boy is leaving.
do you know what? I think we've spoken about it on the show before. I think obviously with Trent, Virgil, and Mo, I think the one out of those three that we had a feeling everyone within the Liverpool base and outside had a feeling Trent would be the
Would
one
be
that
the
wouldn't
guy.
sign a deal and would leave.
Mm.
So I'm not shocked in that way. I'm kind of shocked in the way it's gone about now on the international break. Obviously, we know how close him and Mr. Jude Bellingham are. We've seen Jude waiting in the tunnel for his jersey before, and on the England call duty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel as listen, we know he wants to go to Madrid to better his career, blah blah blah. But I think there's certain ways of doing it. How you leave a club shows who you are as a person. Obviously, he's a local lad. He's come up through the academy, through the youth system. Liverpool have probably gone above and beyond to keep him happy as a child. Listen, we know what's happened in the past with parents getting houses and this, that, and the other. Clubs look after parents. They look after the lads. When you sign your first new deal, they look after you. And listen, at the same time, he's done wonders for you. The corner taken quickly, the free kicks. Yeah, listen, we've spoken on here again about his defending, but I think he is one of the top players, young players in the world at the moment, and it's just from your point of view. But listen, even from a football point of view, looking at you don't want to lose big players from the Premier League. That's just as a football fan in general. You want to be watching the best players in the best league week in, week out. So it is disappointing from that point of view. And like I said, it's very disappointing the way he's gone about it. I've seen a few that looks McAllister and I was giving them coming back into the training ground today. We don't know what went on in the training ground or what was said, but I wouldn't say there was too many happy people in there. But yeah, from my point of view, as a United fan, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's great to see him go. But as a football fan, you want to see him in the league. You want to see these best players play against your team week in, week out. But yeah, I don't like the way it's kind of done. It's kind of he's gone behind your backs kind of thing. I don't like that. I don't
and
like
see,
that.
it's a very difficult thing as well, because like, if he comes out last August and he says, right, folks, this is my last season, I'm going to give it all. I want to further myself and move on, stuff like that. That's a difficult thing to do as well. And then to be able to, like, all it takes is then for, a couple of bad performances and people will start saying, oh, this lad's down the tools, blah, 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 all this kind of thing and all. So it's a really difficult position, and I understand that. I will come out and say, listen, he doesn't owe us anything. He gave us everything.
Yeah,
And
100%.
like he's honoured his contract. The only thing is, it would have been nicer if we had got a few quid for him on the way out. That to just say a little kind of kickback to show the effort that we put in for him as well. But it's a real difficult one, and I know, like, the draw of Madrid, the commercial draw, the football draw, everything that goes with it. And good points were made today as well, that at the moment he's probably looking at brand Trent Alexander-Arnold and how he grows that, like David Beckham did. And that's what he's looking at there. I think from a footballing point of view, it probably won't feel the way it felt with Liverpool and stuff like that. And I seen him as a future captain. I wanted to see this boy lift the Premier League. I wanted to see this boy lift the Champions League for Liverpool Football Club. But obviously that's probably not going to happen now at this stage. And that's the way it is. We make decisions in life, we all do it, and we have to live by it and stuff like that. It's tough. It's hard to palate. But I mean, this is not, the reaction for me has been a little bit weird. And I said to Darren on Thursday that, like, this has not been a secret. Everyone knew he was showing his bum to Madrid,
100%.
week in, week out, month in, month out, and we knew this going. We also said as Liverpool fans as well, out of the three, this was the one that we could replace the easiest, because it's going to be much more difficult if Mo was to go and if Virgil was to go. So I think, look, I don't see him playing again for Liverpool. Do you? I don't see a case where that can happen.
If like you said, if he had us come out at the start of the season and said, "Listen, lads, this is going to be my last season. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for everything you've done." But now the way he's done it, can you imagine the boos he get starting in Anfield against Everton on Wednesday night or whatever.
Well, he's out injured at the moment.
Oh, is he out?
He's not trying. He's
But
in there.
here,
He was there today, kind of for physio.
a question for you as well. Look, we just talked about Cunha signing the deal 4 months ago, or whatever. Why couldn't he have signed the deal? Liverpool say, "Listen, I know you want to go. Let's sign this deal. We'll get some. Still, even though you're coming to the end, we'll sign a deal, say for a year, and then we know it's coming to an end. But
apparently,
we'll sell then to Madrid for a fee, like."
Apparently Madrid turned around, and apparently the talk is that Madrid turned around to him and said, "You'll come here under our terms on a free, or you ain't coming here."
See, that's the power Madrid have, isn't it, in the world of football, you know.
But that should also be an alarm bell as well for someone like Trent, that this is the cauldron that he's going into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So going to Real Madrid is obviously a huge thing and normally a very successful thing for players. But sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? And that's the problem. So
you're
rolling. He's rolling the dice on his legacy and everything here and stuff like that and all. You know what I mean? You've now joined the Michael Owen club, basically. You know what I mean? And we know the score there. And you look at Michael Owen. Michael Owen for the last 5 years has just been trying to plead his case to Liverpool fans to kind of accept him back in. You're seeing it even during some of the Legends games before he gets booed. And
sure.
You know,
isn't it mad? I think someone had said to me before, the amount of clubs Owen play for, and not one of the fan bases like him. Like you look at Newcastle, United, Liverpool.
Well, Newcastle, he went head to head with Shearer, and there was only one winner.
Exactly.
United you was kind of took him in, but you never really took him in. He was always the outsider.
That goal gave him a little bit of a legacy against City, you know. But
for a guy who was kind of pretty successful, and a guy who had some legendary moments and stuff like that, no one takes ownership from no one.
No, 100%.
He's the dog left on the side of the motorway. You know,
sure. The reason Ferguson kept him on for another season was to get the racing tips off him. That's what I heard, you know. So,
well, I don't think Trent kicks a ball for us again. I say he'll be there at the end of the season and stuff like that. But and that's tough to say that as well, because in a run in like this, he's so important to us, his creativity and everything. Big time. And now that's not going to be an option, I would imagine.
And here's a question for you as well. I know it's raw now. Further on down the line, if he turned around and said after Madrid, I want to come and end my career with Liverpool, what would you do? What would you think?
I don't think we'd take him back in.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he did. Now, look, people say time's a healer, but I'm not too sure in football that's the case.
Yeah.
But people do say.
Well, listen, it's like United, the likes of Hughes, left ins, Kanchelskis, Stam, Beckham. The club goes on. The world revolves. You know, that this is life. Obviously, I say the beer taste in your mouth, all right, with the way it's gone. But
I don't know how many times in the last 3 weeks I've quoted on Twitter, it's the badge on the front that I follow, not the name on the back.
100%.
And I'm tired saying it. And plenty of good players have gone through Liverpool Football Club and left. No doubt about it. We will be just fine.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get into Premier League.
Yes.
Big 2 days or whatever it is, or 3 days of Premier League action coming up.
Yeah, Chelsea and Spurs. That should be a good game on Thursday.
Chelsea and Spurs on Thursday. Yeah, nice to have a Thursday game as well.
Yeah.
But we start off
watch along. Second half.
Second half anyway. Yeah. Eno, no doubt will be in the comments as well. So it's always good crack.
Nice one,
and Graham, of course. Graham Spurs. So we start off. I think what I've read at the moment is that Arsenal in the next 6 games, I think it is, play before we play. Every game.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tuesday. So we're kicking off tomorrow night, obviously, Arsenal versus Fulham.
I think, listen, looking at Fulham's performance over the weekend doesn't give you much hope going into this match. Obviously, Arsenal have had the longer time off for players to kind of rest and train together. Arsenal at home as well. I think they will win. I think it'd be a close enough game, but I think Arsenal will do it 2-0.
Do you know something, Philip? You say that. I think the Liverpool fans took Paul Ince in way more than United took him.
Especially when he scored against us. Remember that time?
Remember that game?
He slid in.
The hoarding and everything and all. Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you now. we kind of did take him in a little bit, I have to say. It's not quite the same. Like Paulins still has a couple of homes when he mows around, stuff like that. And all, you know,
Yeah.
Owen is just a stray.
Yeah,
You reckon Arsenal 2-0 here, do you? Bukayo
I'm going
Saka back in
Arsenal.
training as well.
Yeah, seeing that, but yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
gonna
whether
go
they
Arsenal
play him in
2-0.
this game though. I think they might be thinking
No,
Real
no,
Madrid.
no, 100% no,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Wolves versus West Ham. Wolves,
Obviously,
obviously.
do you know what? I'm gonna call this a draw. Listen, both of them have only won 2 in the last 5 games. That the form is going to be a bit indifferent. I'm actually going to go for a draw on this. I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. Forest versus Man United to round out tomorrow night.
Do you know what? It's there's never probably this season a good time to face for us, but I think now is because they played 120
Long
minutes of
game.
football,
Yeah.
on Saturday, and gone to penalties. So mentally and physically, it was a draining weekend for them. Obviously, Chris Wood still a doubt after picking up a knock on international duty with New Zealand. So I think now is the time to play them. I'm actually going to reverse
long
that.
Long trip home as well.
Long trip home as well. So I'm actually going to reverse what Keith is saying here. I'm going for a 2-1
2-1.
United win, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Just with, like I said, with the whole combination of the weekend. Listen, you could say, they'd be on a high going into it. They were playing a pretty intense match, 120 minutes, and then penalties, so it would take it out of them. So, yeah, I think it's a good time to play them.
I suppose the only thing about it, Philip, as well, is Ince kind of came in through a different route. He didn't go straight United Liverpool.
Yeah, Inter Milan, and then
so it was Inter Milan, and so it was kind of a roundabout way of in. He didn't just walk out of Old Trafford straight to
I feel I would have hated him more if they had stopped us winning a trophy, but they didn't.
Yeah, like he did. Like it didn't usually change the landscape, really.
That's it.
We literally had 2 cup finals every year, and it was you home and
exactly.
away. Let's get into Wednesday then. Bournemouth versus Ipswich. Ipswich could be in for a muller in here. Bournemouth not too happy, probably going out.
Yeah, I think so. Listen, all the effort, obviously, Bournemouth putting against City, but listen, it's Ipswich at home. The likes of Kluivert are showing here, Evan Nielsen and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to go 3-0 Bournemouth here.
Yeah, I think so.
Could be 3 or 4 even, but I'll go 3-0,
Yeah, Kluivert's a hell of a player as well, isn't he? I think Bournemouth could lose a few players here in the summer. There's some really good players.
Yeah, possibly. It depends. Listen, if they qualify for Europe and you're an ambitious player, you say, right, I'm going to stick with the plan what we've been through last season and play in Europe next season and see where that takes us.
Do you know who I forgot to mention yesterday as well? Christie, who plays in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
He played yesterday, and at times when they were under the cosh against Man City, he'd pick up the ball and just kill the tempo. Slow it down and kill the momentum that City had. Very, very clever as a player. Very clever. And like you're talking against City, we're not talking against some hacks or anything.
Exactly, yeah.
Very, very good. Brighton, Aston Villa. One of the games, I'd imagine. Of this.
Yeah, should be a really, really good game. You expect it to be end to end. The likes of obviously Watkins will probably start again. He'll have to have Rashford in there after the performance at the weekend, and obviously Joe Pedro was unlucky the weekend with a few of the chances. So I'm gonna go 2-2 here. I think it'll be a draw. I'm gonna sit on the fence 2-2.
Villa will be hoping for more than that, especially in this top 5 race.
They will, but it's a tough place to go to, isn't it? The Amex.
Man City versus Leicester. Leicester in for a pound in here, aren't they?
Yeah,
Haaland's gone.
100%. I think it's going to be another dreary night for Leicester. The performances have been great. Like the defense, I've questioned the defense so many times here. Me and Keith finally agree on something, huh? Again, this could be any score. But I'm gonna go City. I'm gonna go City 4-0.
Big score.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Brentford. Is this an opportunity for Brentford? Could Newcastle be a little bit hungover?
I was just going to say that the hangover effect, Listen,
also still in the top 5 race as well.
I was just going to say, Eddie Howe is professional enough to realise, listen, we've had our celebrations, lads. Back to business now. There's no point parading the trophy in front of how many hundreds of thousands in the streets of Newcastle if we can't go and perform against Brentford at home on the Wednesday night. Although I do think Brentford's away form has been really, really good this season, and they've picked up some really valuable points on the road. I'm actually going to go for a 1-1 draw on this one.
1-1. Interesting. Because I suppose for Newcastle, it's key to get Champions League if they want to keep Alexander Isak, isn't it?
Yeah,
He'll want
absolutely.
Champions League
Yeah,
football, won't he? Big up, Baz.
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, pal.
How are
Good
you,
to see you.
Baz?
See you, bro.
What's the story, man?
Absolutely.
Has he been in with you lately, cuz, no?
No, I haven't seen. He wasn't in. He was in one day last week, and then he wasn't in on the Wednesday, and then he wasn't in today. He was busy, so we'll catch up on
He's
Wednesday.
probably playing in goal, I'd say.
Keith's gone with a 1-1 as well. I tell you.
Jesus, Keith, we're agreeing on a lot here tonight, man.
Tell you. Is a top 5 qualified for Champions League this year? It's looking like it, Philip.
Yeah.
It depends on how Europe and all runs out and
Yeah.
everything and all, but
I think
certainly
it's
looking like
shaping up that way, isn't it? Like,
yeah, fifth and is it fifth and fourth or fifth gets a qualifying spot? I'd imagine so. But it shouldn't be a problem at that level. You normally qualify because
I think fifth have to go in the qualifiers round earlier than fourth or something like that. I think it's going to work
something
out.
like that. Southampton, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, listen, again, Southampton form hasn't been great. You'd expect Palace to go there. I think Southampton will score though, but I'm going to go Palace 2-1 here.
Interesting. Boy, oh boy, their semi-final spot now.
Let's reverse this, cause Liverpool Everton.
I seen clips of Mo Salah training yesterday and stuff like that in his. I think it's his own home gym he has.
Yeah.
That man puts in a shift. I think Liverpool will want to come out of the blocks here and make a statement on the back of the bad Trent news that hung over us. Plus, I think the international break came at a good time for us. We look banjaxed, so I think we could be refreshed. We'll also want to make up for what happened at Goodison because really we should have seen that out. It
felt like a loss.
But I think Liverpool probably will want to get this done sooner rather than later, and that starts with Wednesday night, 8:00 under the lights. And I think we'll probably win 3-1. 3-1, I think. That's what I'm thinking. Back at it and get it going and stuff like that. And then it's the reversal. It's the reversal then at the weekend. I think at the weekend we have Fulham and Arsenal have Everton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's reversed that way.
I think they're going to win 2-1. I think it'd be a tight game, but I think you'll edge it 2-1.
Yeah, I think even the Anfield crowd tomorrow night will want to come out and make a statement to Trent. They'll want to back the team, that kind of way. It'll be quite.
And you want to get revenge on Everton for the draw that time. You know.
I think Wednesday could be quite an emotional night because it's there's a lot being going on and stuff like that and all, So let's see what happens.
Definitely.
Maybe you never know. We might get a renewal announcement on a contract beforehand, which would really lift things. That's what you want.
Fingers crossed for you, huh?
Yeah, and then Thursday, obviously Chelsea versus Spurs. We got a London derby here.
What Spurs are going to show up? That's the question,
What Chelsea are going to show up?
I was just going to say, Jacqueline Hyde,
this
could be 3-2 to Chelsea or something. It wouldn't surprise me,
Yeah, this could be quite open.
I think Chelsea will edge it. I'm going to go
at the bridge.
Chelsea. Yeah, I'll go 3-2 Chelsea. Yeah, 3-2
Chelsea. Interesting. Keats in 2-0 to Liverpool, but it'll be a tough game. Absolutely. Every game now is going to feel like a final because you're trying to edge yourself closer and closer to winning the league.
Exactly, yeah.
You're in pole position now, but you can't afford to really drop anything. But we tend to play better as well when there's a bit of pressure on us. So when Arsenal have played first this year and sort of put it to us, the gap, we've kind of come out and played and answered those questions, So I'm not too worried about that. I think the lads should have enough. And I think there's plenty of fixtures there where we'll pick up points that we should be okay. But yeah, that's your Premier League. Let's have a quick look at the League of Ireland and Division 1 as well.
Yeah.
What was
Did you see Galway's second goal?
I did.
What a cracker. They've been on top form. I've said at the start of the season. What Caulfield's doing down there has been fantastic. He's been really building a strong squad. Bowes obviously gotten a win in Waterford there last week or the week before last. Would have been trying to build momentum on that, and they didn't. It was a poor performance by them, but Galway took advantage and fantastic second goal, great win, 3 points on the road, a clean sheet. And I was talking to a lad there, the Troyes man as they call themselves. all the pubs in Galway City are showing all the Galway matches live this season. He said
Mm.
the crowds are out in force for the away games as well and stuff. He said brilliant atmosphere around Galway and stuff. So, great win.
Playing great
Ah,
football.
yeah, 100%,
Scoring goals. I said
100%.
it to Aaron on Thursday when we previewed it. Sort of a sneaky feeling about Galway in this. They
Yeah,
score lots of goals,
yeah, yeah.
so
Um,
they're good,
and listen at the back as well. Listen, it's all they got a clean sheet against obviously against Bowes, but they've been very strong at the back as well. Like I said,
Mm.
I've mentioned him before. And this Brendan Clark and goal has been immense for them this season, and he really is the stronghold of the team. The
Absolutely.
experience he brings.
Cork and draw the 1-1. Draw the slightly blunter in this one. Obviously, I think Cork took the lead, didn't they, early on or something?
Yeah, draw at the start of the first 15, 20 minutes. I was watching the highlights and watching a bit of the first 15, 20 minutes. They didn't really start off too well.
Mm.
Cork started off well. The home fans got behind them and stuff. They got the goal.
Tough
And
place to go, Turner's Cross.
it
Tough place.
is. It is. It's particularly like you. Droid have picked up some good points this season. For them, I think that would have felt like a win because it wasn't a great performance. They have played better than that, so they'll take it. And again, I know it might seem like a loss, but it'll be a valuable point for Cork at the end of the season as well. Home to Drogheda, considering Drogheda the start.
Mm. And Shells beating Sligo Rovers 2-1. Felt like a big win on the road, even though it was Sligo Rovers, but felt like a big win.
It wasn't the greatest of performances. Obviously, got the two early goals. I think what one of Forest was obviously Sligo going down to 10 men because we didn't play well at all, to be honest. I think if Sligo had 11 men on the pitch near the end of the game, we would have struggled, and we possibly would have only taken a point if I had gotten to it. But it's a win that we needed. It's one of those dogged 3 points that you just take, and we have a massive game on Friday night against St. Pat's now, which
That's right.
will tell a lot for over the next few weeks. But yeah, I was only texting my cousin earlier. Last season, myself and himself went to the Pats match and down in Richmond. Will Jarvis was the difference on the night, scoring 2 goals. We needed someone like him back in the squad. Obviously, we can't. But yeah, listen, it's an away win. We take it, but it wasn't a great performance. It's all nothing to write home about.
3 points away from home in this league is always huge.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you get it, just get it. Sometimes you want to go to these grounds, just get it. Like the Turner's Cross or something like that. Get the 3 points.
Just get it and get out. Yeah.
Waterford 1, St. Pat's 2.
Yeah, I think I felt sorry for Waterford, to be honest with you. I thought they played very well, and they were deserving of a point. And obviously Pat's got a late goal, fantastic goal. Listen, Pats have been playing really well. They started off kind of a little shaky. They made a few mistakes at the back, but they got back into it, obviously. But yeah, great win for them on the road again. But like I said, I felt sorry for Waterford. I felt they played well enough to get something out of it. They deserve something from it.
Yeah, they're normally pretty solid down there as well.
Yeah.
So, and Pats have been kind of back to winning ways, but have been a little bit blunt. The game against Rovers and all wasn't great at all.
Yeah.
And then Rovers rounded out. Rovers Derry 0-0.
Yeah, it wasn't a great game. Obviously, Rovers got the keeper sent off. It changes their game plan around. Bradley would have had to been, would have had a few words with him in the dressing room after, because when something like that happens, you're out kilter then, and you're trying to fix things. And yeah, it wasn't a great game. And you're looking at the way Derry have been playing lately. They haven't been playing too well. I know they picked up a good 3 points with the free kick there a few weeks ago at home, but in the Brandywell. But yeah, it wasn't a great game at all. Very lackluster. Bradley be very, very disappointed not to have gotten 3 points at home against Derry.
Yeah, it's mad when you look at the bottom half of the table there. Rovers, Derry, and Bowes in it. And obviously Cork as well, who had a very good start to the season, but have just kind of pittered away, started to slide down the table there. Up top, St. Pat's up top with a strong enough start this year now. So last year we know they had a great chance. They were unlucky not to catch up another 4 or 5 games, and it would have been there for them.
Well, you look at Cork, they've drawn the same amount of games as Galway, but obviously Galway have won the 2 extra, and that could be vital at the end of the season. Cork need to start picking up 3 points and killing off games.
Yeah, and obviously Bohemians need to start putting results on the board there, being second from bottom.
Look, they went to Waterford 2 weeks ago, had a great performance, and they go home, and like I said, Galway have been so strong, yes, but you're at home to Galway. It doesn't matter where they are on the table. It's they should be there
I
for
did
3
say
points.
though, I did say I felt that result was kind of one out of the blue, that it wasn't the norm, that Bowes have been really struggling to find the net. Then if
Yeah.
you're not scoring goals and you're not defending as good as you probably should, it's not a great recipe. Not a
No,
great recipe.
100%, and obviously they've down at Daily Mount it be packed. They have a big fan base there that won't be too pleased with that. And I think have they got Sligo? Is it Sligo on Friday?
I didn't look. I haven't looked at the fixtures yet for
They look
late.
they're playing Sligo, then they're
Sligo.
playing us, and then Cork. So 3 tough games coming up for them as well.
They're away to Sligo, are they?
They are at home to Sligo,
Home to Sligo.
So yeah,
Oh, okay.
then
Yeah.
away to us and a home to Cork, and then away to Rovers and a home to Pats.
I
So look
suppose
at them 5 games.
when you're playing that blunt, and obviously Sligo will bring a good crowd up with them to Daily Mount, but when you're playing that blunt, it doesn't even matter if you're home and away. You're trying to
Yeah.
figure out a way to get a result, to build a bit of momentum and stuff.
Oh, 100%. Like the next 5 games, Sligo, Shells, Cork, and Rovers, and then Pats. Like, if they don't start picking up points, they could find themselves where Sligo are after the next 5 games, right at the rock bottom of the table.
Get detached very easily. Get
Oh,
detached very easily,
absolutely,
and then it's a
absolutely.
real struggle. Because then you're looking around the locker room there, and you know, I don't know. Do you see a locker room there where you've got some leaders in there? I'm not too sure whether
Oh,
people
and
would have
then
a taste for that if it slips down that far.
I think they had the quarter final as well of the Leinster Senior Cup against Ulster Celtic coming up. Obviously, he'll play the young lads and that and all, but
Yeah,
it should be interesting.
yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep an eye on it. But obviously, the big one coming up this week, isn't it? Shells and Pats. That should
Yeah,
be
it's going to be a
interesting.
massive game on Friday night. I'll get home to watch that after work on Friday. Really looking for pity. I'm going to be going by literally Richmond Road on the way back. So I'm disappointed. I can't pop my head in, but I'll be watching it at home when I get home.
Yeah. And Division 1, I meant to go to this game the other night, the Bray Wanderers game against Cove.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get to go. Ben was supposed to go with me, but he ended up getting a nick so that he had to do. So
Okay.
he was off doing that, so I didn't go in the end. But I'm sorry I didn't, because I wasn't too sure what way this would play out. And this feels like a big win for Bray Wanderers over Cove. Cove have been
Big
excellent so
time.
far this season.
Big time.
But
Yeah.
their win against them was cool. Obviously, Dundalk still flying high. 3-0 win against Wexford. So there, I mean, it kind of looks like it's going to be Dundalk and everyone else, doesn't it, at this stage? The way it's
Yeah, listen, I had said to them I thought they might struggle to get out first time down, but then I looked around at the squads. You look at the likes of Kerry Longford that loan, UCD didn't strengthen. Dundalk obviously got a few new players in. They could have had more players. John was telling me if they had the money, there was a few players offered to them, but he wasn't willing to pay the wages because he thought the younger lads coming up through were going not at the moment, but will be stronger, going forward this season. And
plus, they're also going through 100% financial review and trying to realign the finances as well on top of that. So,
absolutely, like there's a player offered to him from Rovers. I won't mention names, but the player wanted the same wages he was getting from Shamrock Rovers off Dundalk.
We spoke about the player already on a previous show.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So like John laughed down the phone at him. Yeah. Then there was another lad from Derry, a former international, and he said the same thing. He said, I just laughed him down the phone. He says, I'm not paying that. Yeah. I'm not paying that.
Well, obviously, if they're on the phone and they're seeking that type of bread, they obviously didn't look at what was going on at Dundalk last season. They should know better, really. If you want to be part of a project that's 2 to 3 years and stuff like that, and a rebuild of the financials and all that kind of stuff and all that.
But like, and obviously they bet Bray there 2 weeks ago. Did they draw against Treaty? I think they drew 2-2. Am I right against? Because he said that was the one game he felt really, really disappointed. Right there, sorry. Where is it? Is it
that was the game that cost them the 2 points. They were perfect up to that. They've 19 from 7.
I think I'm just sorry going back because I'm nearly sure it was Treaty because when I was watching they bet Treaty and I 2-2 at home.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the one game that he says. But Treaty scored in the 90th minute. That's what it was. That's why Dundalk were 2-0 ahead and Treaty scored in the 86th and the 90th minute.
Yeah, they were cruising. They're
Because he
great.
even said it
Yeah.
felt like a loss, probably like you at the Everton game that time,
Oh,
he said it
100%.
felt like a loss. So they've
100%.
UCD away now on Saturday. UCD rock bottom, haven't played well at
Absolutely.
all. Like I said, haven't even strengthened their squad. So you'd expect, now listen, it's a League of Ireland, anything can happen, but you'd expect them to get 3 points there,
Yeah,
But they
absolutely.
listen, they have a good mix of squad. They've a lot of youth there and a bit of experience with the likes of Kelly and stuff like that as well. And Kilduff
Yeah,
knows what he's doing. So
yeah. And the only other result I'm missing there actually is Longford got a big win against Treaty 2-0
2-0,
at the
yeah.
weekend as well,
But
which was a huge result actually.
it was massive for
Treaty
them.
have been doing well, like.
And in fairness, again, Longford haven't really strengthened. I thought the manager was going to get sacked at the end of last season because they were rock bottom. They didn't show much last season at all, but it was a fantastic win for them,
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to your Premier One there results and the way the table looks at the moment. I was delighted to see Bray moving up into fourth anyway because
And
they've
I
had a
heard
kind
the
of a
new
sluggish
Astro
start.
is looking well, cause
Yeah, no, it looks pretty good, all right, absolutely. I have to get to
I
a game though. I haven't been to a game
you
yet.
should.
But
No, I heard because John was telling me he was at it, and he said it's playing well as well. Because you know what the
yeah,
Astros are like, particularly after they've just been laid. He said it's been played because he was asking the lads. The lads are saying it plays very well.
yeah, it could be the roll of a dice when you're doing stuff like Astro. So,
Yeah.
but it looks like it's knitting well and all that kind of stuff, and that's good. So, obviously, wouldn't be our favorite playing surface, but
No,
it's always
definitely not.
interesting to watch as well. But
Particularly, you said it before. Carlow was up there in one of the country's best services as a grass
yeah,
pitch, and then they changed it. So
yeah,
there's always going to be
yeah.
a bit of a uproar about it.
I'd say maybe it's not only that. I'd say maybe they're looking at other revenue streams that can potentially be brought in there now with it being an Astros surface.
Exactly.
We'll see. Well, you mentioned, of course, some teams are using it for training and stuff like that, weren't you? Or
Yeah. No,
stuff like
there
that
is.
also.
Yeah. And they
Yeah,
still
so
have the car park at the back of it. They call
that's right.
there.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on it, but obviously I was happy Bray moving up into fourth there, and long may it continue. But that's it. I don't think I have anything else for us. FA Cup, Premier League, all done. League of Ireland, Premier One, all done. Yeah, all done. Inside an hour as well. We done good tonight. Inside an hour. Inside an hour. Baby didn't wake up. Mrs. had a swimming lesson. It's all good.
Had the monitor there, so yeah, no, she's conked out. She's been sick today, so the asthma's been at her. So we was sent out. I bought a nebulizer yesterday, so I've had her on the nebulizer.
The change in the weather, isn't it? The change in the weather does it every time. Yeah, because I used to get killed with the sinuses from it as well.
Yeah, no, it is a killer. But yeah, so she was conked out, thank God. So I might even have an old snaky cup of tea now before I head up to bed in a while.
Great stuff. Excellent. Right, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, of course, as well, and drop a like on the video. I will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Pro Wrestling Weekly. We're going to be talking WrestleMania. We're going to be talking Raw. We're going to be talking SmackDown. We're going to be trying to decipher down what's this Paul Heyman favor that wasn't delivered on SmackDown either, even though Punk got his main event, but lots to talk about tomorrow night. We're also going to be talking about creative staff at SmackDown at the moment not being too happy with the format of the show and all that kind of stuff. Plenty going on.
Are you talking about Hulk Hogan and his ex?
The missus.
Back and forth.
bit of a breakdown there, all right. I don't.
To see the video you released with the new wife and all, they're sitting there eating popcorn.
Yeah, it's a bit weird and stuff like that. The whole thing is. You ever seen a family to have so much wealth to be so destroyed?
That program ruined them, I'd say. Remember the program they had on MTV at that time?
Yeah. Hogan knows best.
That's it.
Although I will say Hogan still does know best. I'm going to agree with that. That doesn't change anything. But there you go. Right, folks, until next time, have a safe week. Enjoy the football. It's back from tomorrow night, thank God. And I'll be back with Pro Wrestling Weekly up the forest.
Hey.